Hi guys, this is Dan from Magic Pachinko Restorations with another short video on a vintage pachinko machine. As you may or may not know, I'm striving to get 2 million subscribers. I know it's going to take a long time, but if you would click on subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I'm well over 200 now, so we're getting there. Also, if you haven't been to magicpachinkorestorations.com, please stop by. Lots of good information there. Shows you how I do things, what I've got in the works, so on and so forth. So today's machine is a customer's machine. And this is a pretty interesting machine, one you may not have ever seen before. They're not rare. As I've always said, there's no such thing as a rare pachinko machine. But this one's a little bit different in the sense that it is a Model A, and it's what's called a Model A front overflow. So this portion is what makes it a little different than other pachinko machines you've seen. Most pachinko machines, when you empty the balls that will then drop down into the lower tray, it's usually done internally. This one has a added piece here that just lets the balls drop right out here. Okay, so it's called a front overflow. So full restoration, everything. Playfield was, the colors on the playfield were almost non-existent. A lot of water staining, quite dirty, as they all are, dirty, rusty, so on and so forth. So everything came off, everything got cleaned, every new artwork put on, everything gets, the nails, so on and so forth. This particular machine has absolutely gorgeous red mahogany, which all the machines do, but this particular piece right here was just beautiful. I plane these all down, sand them, and then put polyurethane on them to protect them. So on the back, again, this one's a little bit different than a lot of machines. Typically, pachinkos have 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 or more tulips. This one has 5. There's 3 across the middle and 1 lower one, and then there's 1 upper one up in here. And the way that this is all supposed to work is that when the top tulip, it gets a ball dropped into it, it's supposed to open, and then this is supposed to drop and open the 3 tulips across the middle. And it works, but it doesn't work 100%. It's a very fragile, hard to adjust kind of thing, but you'll see it in action in a little bit. Rewired the entire machine. This one, a lot of times the original wiring gets taken off. There were some micro switches and whatever. I redid it all. That's a new micro switch there. New leaf switch here for the jackpot. Both lights work. This one had a big challenge for me. I almost thought I couldn't fix it, but on a Model A, this is your jackpot here. The balls rest in here, and then they tip forward and go out. Well, there's a piece right here that's attached to the metal plate that's behind this cover, and it was completely broken into 2 pieces. So these were the pieces of that. Let me get them in front of my jacket here so you can see them. They were broken. These 2 go together, but they're held in place by a couple of rivets that went into the metal. And it's almost impossible to try to get this glued back together and then glued back on and have it work right, because it has to line up and let the balls pass through. So I thought, well, let me check and see if I have parts from another Model A, which I did. And I thought, okay, this is good. I can use that. Well, the piece is, again, it's behind this cover, but it's a metal piece, and this piece here is held in with 2 rivets. So I put my new piece on, only to find out that this is different on this Model A than it is on most Model A's that I've worked on, and the bracket on the inside was different. So unfortunately I couldn't use the entire piece that I had. So I was lucky in the sense that I was able to get the plastic piece off of the old by grinding down the rivets and getting rid of them, and then repositioning it on the original piece and using a special cement to glue it in. So I was lucky there. One other thing, there's on all pachinko machines, there's a little hole on the front, and if you put a wire that would fit in there and you push, it pushes back on a mechanism here, and it activates the ball dump. Now the ball dump on a Model A, there's two brass tabs back in here, and when you hit the ball dump, it lifts the brass tabs up, and then the balls drop down through this chute and go all the way down to where this box is. Now on a Model A, the winning balls go out the front and the losing balls get recycled. So really the only time you need a catch box is if you're going to let all the balls out of the machine. Now this is a prototype box that I had a friend of mine print on a 3D printer. I don't include these with the machines, but you would need a box similar to this. It can be cardboard, it can be plastic, it can be anything. But you do want something that'll fit right in there on that little shelf so that if you do decide to empty the machine, it'll catch the balls or they'll go all over the place. Now the mechanism, it's hard to see here. Maybe I can open it up. Okay, I think you can see this. Yeah, this wire right here. So if you put that wire in from the front, it pushes back, which pushes down. And when you push down, it lifts those fingers out of the way. So you want to make sure that this is lifted up here so that the fingers are in place. When the balls come in, they hit the fingers and they stop. The original piece had a piece that came out here, so you could work it from here. I had to actually make this, and I'm not quite clever enough to bend the wire. So this functions, and it will hold the two little fingers in place, which is the way the machine's going to be probably 99% of the time. But just be aware that if that's down, the balls are going to run all over the place. You want to make sure that's up. Okay. And I actually opened the cabinet by pulling down here. This is the cabinet release, so this is locked in now. When you pull down, it allows you to swing this out. Just keep in mind they're very top heavy, so this isn't really designed to stand with this out. It'll still tip, but when it's closed up, it's pretty stable. Okay. All right. So setup wise, this is something new. I got these adapters, my 12 volt power supplies that I use. You just plug them into the wall, and now you can just plug them in here and you'll have power. So if you notice, as soon as I plug it in, this light comes on here. This is letting us know that there's no balls or not enough balls in the machine at this time. The other light is right here in the center attraction, and when the seesaw tips, it activates that light and turns that light on. So the lighting works now. Everything is the way it should be. Okay, so you're going to start out by, this is 300 pachinko balls here. You're going to start out, I always tell my customers, start out with a handful of pachinko balls to make sure everything is set right, because if you dump 300 in and something's not set right, you'll end up with 300 on the floor. So with a Model A, the balls run here, here, go down here, and into this tray. And they'll continue to do that, and then they go all the way down through here and stop. And they'll continue to drop out until there's enough of them in here that a weight shift then turns this off. If the weight shift is the other way, it allows more in. Or you can just put some in if you want to, but most all of the balls you want up here. And when you get enough in, the weight shift here releases off this micro switch and turns the light off. So Almost everything that's left I want in the upper hopper. And the only other thing you want to do is make sure that your seesaw, which is the red plastic, is tipped back. Obviously you don't want the light on, you want the light off. So tip it back, and then the machine is now ready for play. So you put some balls in there, and then you just start to launch them. Now, I don't know if you heard the, I call it a rattle. Occasionally when the middle hopper doesn't have enough balls, the upper hopper opens up and a whole bunch of them just shoot down. So that's the noise you heard. To get these balls down here, you just push back. And then you can just scoop them out. And keep playing. So that's the Model A Recycler front overflow. Hope you like it and enjoy it for many years to come. Thanks.